don't forget to check out this month's free featured mobile game and join up with me and other viewers who've joined me so far to wage large-scale battles against our enemies and also hunt giant monsters. It's been pretty fun for all of us, plus it's also the sponsored game of the month, so trying it out also helps the channel as well. Plus, it's absolutely free. Check the description section below for the link and also information on how to join our guild, and I'll see you in the game. I did not want to make another Hajime no Ippo video so soon, but this Ippo train has no brakes, and I just couldn't stop watching it. Like, I just finished episode 75, so that completes the very first series of it all, and I just gotta talk about it. I can't sit on all of this fun that I had with watching it, and you know, it did take me quite a while to get this, like a month I think, to watch 75 episodes, which to some that may seem like it took me a really long time, and it did because I've been really busy, and that's kind of why the background is the way that it is. I just didn't feel like moving it. The shelf, you know, I'm not going to keep it for this, for something else. Trust me, the shelf is still there. It's kind of like what I did with the green screen. But Hajime no Ippo, I just finished it, and I am honestly surprised because there are so many other action fighting shonen series out there that the story will just drag on within the first 12 to 24 episodes, or maybe they have a strong first half and it gets like really weak near the ends, and it has pockets where the story just drags along and they're doing monotonous things. But Hajime no Ippo is consistent all the way through, and not only is it a great story for its protagonist Ippo, but it does a great job of fleshing out a lot of its side characters and Ippo's opponents as well, because they'll get a lot of development. We'll go into their backstories, and over time we'll see them fight against each other as Ippo just like trails above them, and they kind of fight against each other, and they use the fact that he beat them in order to like get themselves further and even get to the point where they're even stronger than Ippo, and it's another struggle that's even harder than it was the first time for him to beat them. And I gotta say, one thing that, you know, the first half of the series that I talked about already in the other video, if you missed it, you should check it out. And by the way, I'm talking about the second half. I'm not trying to give any spoilers, but I really can't guarantee anything. But in the first half of the series, all of the fights, they lasted like a portion of an episode, and some of the epic fights lasted an entire episode. But now we get to the point where in the second half of the very first series, they have fights which are like 2 episodes, maybe 2.5 episodes long, and even though they're really long, and I don't really like long fights, for some reason, like, it just works for this. You know, there's so much going on there. You have strategy going on where the characters, they're just taking this pummeling, and they're like, well, you know, this guy's kind of kicking my ass. I gotta come up with some sort of plan and to kick his ass, because, you know, you gotta kick each other's ass. That's the game of boxing. And they'll come up with new strategies mid-battle, and then, you know, in between every round, they'll just talk to their trainers, and they'll kind of like just make new plans and whatnot, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, and it's like that for both sides, so it kind of spaces things out evenly, and when you have all of the different rounds, different things happen in different rounds, and it all just comes down to like the character strength and stamina, and they'll get injuries. Like one guy had his ribs broken, and that affected him in certain ways. Like they were cracked, but he kept going, and they just started breaking after a while because he would not stop punching, because he knew if he got hit again, it would be over. He may as well just break him on his own, just from throwing his own punches instead of taking them. And that's the kind of thing that you get with this. And man, Ippo gets wrecked in this, and bear with me here. This is kind of like walking on eggshells, because I don't want to spoil you guys, but I gotta talk about losses. But I guess the best way that I can put this without giving like direct spoilers is, due to the fact that Ippo is capable of losing, it's something that greatly develops his character because of how he copes with it. And he'll have different stages of coping with it. Like at first, he'll be in, I guess, disbelief. Did I lose? What's going on here? Because I guess you get punched in the face so many times you don't really remember what happens in the fight. I don't know if this is really what happens for boxers, but he'll sit there and just watch the video on TV. Like, I couldn't do it, man. You see some of the shapes that these guys are in after the matches, even in the anime series, that their eyes are all puffed up and their face is all swollen, and, you know, they just get jacked up. If you look at pictures of real boxers, I mean, damn, that's some stress, that's some trauma these guys put themselves through. But he didn't remember some of the things that happened in the match, so he'd have to continuously re-watch the film. And because he was watching it, it was something that was very hard for him, that allowed him to first he, you know, didn't like it, but eventually he started learning from it after a while, and that's just how Ippo is. He's just that type of guy, you know. It is a shonen, so he needs to be this, like, really high-spirited type of character, and that's basically what he is. And whenever he's asked what is the most impactful match for you, he would just say one of the losses for him, because he learned a whole lot from that, and that's the type of guy that he is. Every match that he goes through, he learns something new, and all of his other opponents, even though they will work on certain things and we'll see some of their training, they'll learn new moves and things like that, they'll look at Ippo and think, this is not the same guy that I boxed against earlier on, because he's come so far, because he's learned new things to overcome every opponent. Like that Dempsey roll. How about that Dempsey roll, though, man? I don't know anything about boxing. Dempsey roll sounded very familiar to me. I looked it up, and watching videos of people doing it on YouTube, it's not really as exciting as watching Ippo do it, but then again, I guess that's the charm of anime, is that it makes everything seem more exciting than it actually is. And yeah, that's basically it. But again, with the fights, like, everything in the middle of these fights is just so intense and exciting because of the way that they animate it all, and the sounds that it make when characters are just throwing their punches. There was a person that commented in the last video that it feels to them like it's a jet taking off whenever Ippo rears back to deliver his finishing punch. And that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like you're going on a ride and somebody's about to get knocked the fuck out. You got knocked the fuck out! So I'm kind of stuck on a fence with this, because I just finished Hajime no Ippo, and I want to say how I feel about it as a whole and, like, rank it in terms of, like, how I feel about all the different shonen series, because this would go very high on my top 10 shonen list, but I also know there's so much of the series left to go, so I kind of want to wait. Like, I really want to do a top 10 shonen, a battle shonen series list, just because I think that would be a fun one to do. Probably piss a lot of people off, like, where's such and such? They don't know me very well, and that's going to be a pretty interesting video right there, but I wanted to wait and do that until I finished Hunter x Hunter, but, like, Hunter x Hunter, I was watching that, I got halfway through, and I was, enjoying it for what it was, but it wasn't anything like the ride that I had with Hajime no Ippo. Man, this was really fun. It's definitely, I would say, probably top 3 shonen so far. I could put it a little bit higher than that probably, but I don't know how I'm going to feel about the rest of the series. So I'm about to go watch some more Hajime no Ippo as soon as I finish editing this video. And by the way, that little promo for the game that I put at the beginning of the video, I play that like every day. I'll wake up for a bit and I'll play as long as I need to, and I'll pop on during the day. Just now and then to check on the guild and everything. We have a decent amount of guild members, and it's just people who watch the video, so it's pretty fun getting to play with you guys. We already have like an island that's full of people, and it's kind of like overflowing into the mainland, and it's pretty fun because we all like gang up on people sometimes. And we had this embarrassing thing the other day where like one in-game level guy came over and just wiped us off the map because somebody in the guild was attacking somebody they probably shouldn't have been. But it's just been pretty fun so far. We recovered quickly, and it's a fun game. Definitely check it out. Plus, it supports the channel by doing so. So even if you're, you just check it out, that'll really help. Thanks for watching. See you next time.